Today, we will try to decipher this mystical language of allegories, because real truth is always hidden behind a metaphor, and it is that metaphor which becomes the key to freedom of the spirit. Among thousands of poetic lines, there are those that speak to us across centuries, and the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam is exactly of that kind. People have been reading these quatrains for almost 1,000 years, yet they still sound like a riddle, a quiet whisper carried through time. And today we will try to solve it, or at least come a little closer to its true meaning. Here are 4 lines that have become a stumbling block for many, and at the same time, a key for the initiated. Listen closely to this call. Drink wine, for after us the world will be empty. While we are alive, the louder we celebrate, the better. Do you not believe that the moment of life will pass and vanish? Then drink wine, for the moment that has passed will never return. Before we continue exploring the hidden meaning behind these lines, let me briefly mention something that may be valuable for those who truly appreciate classical literature. For those who cherish timeless, refined literature, the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam is more than a book, it's a classic you'll return to. A perfect gift and a graceful addition to any library, this edition reveals new depths with every reading. The direct purchase link is below the video. Now, let us return to the poem, because at first glance, these lines may seem like a simple invitation to pleasure, to hedonism, to living here and now without restraint. And indeed, many today read these lines literally. Live for the moment, drown your sorrow, don't think about tomorrow, because tomorrow is only a mirage. But could a great mathematician, philosopher, astronomer, and thinker really reduce the meaning of life to a call to get drunk? Obviously not. Such a reading is only the first, thinnest layer of truth, the surface of a much deeper ocean. We must remember that Omar Khayyam lived in a time when open criticism of religious dogma could cost a person his life. Therefore, like many wise men of his age, he created a refined language of allegory to speak about what was forbidden to say openly. And if the reader does not understand this code, he inevitably loses the depth. Because the wine in Khayyam's poetry is not a beverage. It is a shadow, a symbol, a doorway to another level of understanding. To decode what he truly meant, we must step into the tradition of Sufism, a mystical path seeking a direct, personal connection with the Absolute. The Sufis always spoke in symbols. They used images of earthly love, intoxication, and ecstasy to describe transcendent spiritual awakening. This is not accidental. Mystics understood that truth revealed too directly loses its power. Wrapped in metaphor, it bypasses the mind and speaks directly to the heart. In this tradition, every ordinary object carries a double meaning. Ordinary wine, which brings temporary forgetfulness, becomes a symbol of the wine of divine love. This wine does not cloud the mind, it purifies the soul. It dissolves our small self and opens the door to inner freedom. The cup that holds this wine, that is our body. Fleeting, temporary, created solely to hold a single immortal drop of spirit. So caring for the cup is not physical hedonism. It is the ability to hold wisdom, light, and awareness within oneself. And think about it. A cup can be full, half empty, cracked, or shattered. So can a human being. Khayyam subtly asks us, is your cup ready to hold anything divine at all? The tavern, in turn, is a place without masks, a space where a person can be honest with themselves for the first time, where there is no hypocrisy, no social roles, only truth, a place where the soul stands bare before the Absolute. And finally, the Saki, the wine pourer, is one of the most important figures in this allegory. He is not a bartender. He is a spiritual guide, the one who helps the seeker pass through illusions and pours not alcohol, but knowledge, enlightenment. Now it becomes clear that Khayyam does not call us to drink. He calls us to awaken. The true power of the wine-related Rubaiyat lies in their call to inner freedom. Khayyam contrasts two worlds. The wine of the mind, cold, rational, limited. The world of dogmatists, people who live according to rules written by others and never ask themselves, what do I truly feel? And the wine of the heart, living, warm, intuitive. The ecstasy of existence that needs no explanation. A state in which a person allows themselves to be sincere, to simply be as they are. For Khayyam, intoxication is a state of absolute honesty, a moment when a person is unafraid to recognize their insignificance and, at the same time, their greatness as part of the universe. And perhaps this is why his poetry remains alive today. Because in the modern world, authenticity, true, unfiltered authenticity, has become a rare treasure. We hide behind screens, roles, expectations, and fears. We compress ourselves into shapes that do not fit the soul. And Khayyam quietly whispers through the centuries, "Stop. Remove the mask. Drink the wine of your own truth." This brings us to his central message. Live consciously, here and now. Because every moment is unique. A moment that has passed will never return. And this is what makes his metaphor incredibly relevant, perhaps even more relevant today than it was in his time. We live in an era of digital taverns, Sakis, and wines. Endless social media feeds, self-proclaimed gurus, information storms. We seek intoxication in likes, money, distractions, and the attention of strangers. But this is false wine. It never quenches the thirst. It only dulls it. Khayyam tells us, the real wine is within. It is awareness. It is gratitude for the moment. It is the courage to open your heart. And it requires no dramatic emotion, only the honesty to look at your life without illusions. Ask yourself, when was the last time you lived a moment fully? Not distracted, not pretending, not rushing, but truly living it. When did you last taste the wine of the heart? Khayyam's Rubaiyat is not just poetry. They are mirrors, and each of us must look into them. Are you truly living, or merely repeating yesterday? Do you allow yourself joy? Do you dare to be yourself? The real wine of the heart is not indulgence, not escapism, not celebration. It is the moment when you finally feel, I am alive, I am here, and this moment is priceless. Before we reach the final thought of today's reflection, there is one more layer to Khayyam's message that deserves attention. A layer that turns his poetry from simple contemplation into a genuine guide for inner transformation. Because what Khayyam truly challenges us to do is to look honestly at the life we are living, not the one we intend to live someday, not the one we pretend to live for others, but the one that unfolds in the quiet corners of our own mind. Most of us move through our days on borrowed thoughts, borrowed fears, borrowed desires. The world around us is loud, persuasive, constantly demanding something, and gradually, almost without noticing, we forget the sound of our own inner voice. Khayyam invites us to pause, to touch that inner voice again, to rediscover the part of ourselves that hasn't been shaped by expectation or pressure or habit. That is what the wine symbolizes, a return to authenticity, to that simple, undistorted awareness that allows us to see life as it truly is, and ourselves as we truly are. And perhaps the real question hidden in his verses is this: When was the last time you lived a moment that was entirely your own? Not borrowed, not repeated, not inherited, but truly yours. If there is even a hint of longing in your answer, then Khayyam's poetry is already doing exactly what it was meant to do. And if these words resonate with you, it means you are already standing on the threshold of the very path Khayyam wrote about. In the next video, we will explore perhaps his most famous quatrain, the one that speaks of time and eternity. And I promise you, it will change the way you perceive life. So if you wish to continue this journey into the world of a man who united science, poetry, and philosophical rebellion, subscribe, activate the bell, and I'll see you in the Garden of the Rubaiyat.